Diffindo is a severing charm. It's used to accurately cut things, and in the books, Harry used it to cut open Cedric Diggory's bag so he could warn him about the first task of the Tri-Wizard Tournament. Now, its power is at your disposal in Harry Potter Magic Awakened. Don't worry though, it's not actually going to cut your opponents in half. That would be a very different H rating. Let's break down how this card works in this video. When you cast the spell, it will first move forward in a straight line toward your target. If an opponent or summon crosses its path before it reaches your target, the spell will hit them instead. If your opponent moves out of the way, the spell won't continue traveling in a straight line. Instead, it will hit the area you were targeting. Once it lands, it spreads out in a cross shape perpendicular to the direction it was cast. This cross pattern stays on the ground for a few seconds. Any summon or player will not be able to move over this pattern unless they're flying. It deals damage when it first hits the opponent, then deals a second instance of damage when it creates the cross pattern. Even if they get hit by the initial damage, they can dodge the second hit if they move away quickly enough. One of the echoes that you can use with Diffindo is Grindelwald. You can use it with both offense and strategy Grindelwald. With offense Grindelwald, Diffindo gets stronger damage at a lower cost, so you can deal more damage against players or quickly get rid of annoying summons. With strategy Grindelwald, you can cast multiple instances of Diffindo to maintain better area control and prevent summons from crossing. If you use it with McGonagall, Hermione, Ginny, or Cedric, you can use Diffindo to semi-control your opponents. You can box them in by casting it in front of them and behind them. If you're dealing with summons, they'll usually keep trying to move forward, which means Diffindo can keep them in place until the spell disappears. It's especially good for spell-heavy decks like McGonagall and Hermione because it gives you more control over the summons on the field without needing to use your high-damage spells on them. Then, as with most spells, you can also use it with Ron and Luna to help buff their echoes. For companions, Dumbledore and Hermione immediately come to mind since they can double the cast of the spell, making it easier to get rid of summon-heavy decks or at least gain more control over them. Well, unless they're flying. You can also use it with Snape. Snape can defend you from spells, while Diffindo can help stop summons. In the same vein, you can use it with Cassandra, so she has more time to deal with companions and summons that may be surrounding her. Honestly, this applies to most companions since Diffindo can block summons and companions from attacking them directly. Expecto Patronum is a great card to use since it increases the damage of both hits. It also increases Diffindo's size. You can combo it with cards like Metellojinx, Glacis Maxima, Whizbangs, or Avis. Even if Metellojinx displaces players, having Diffindo as a block can prevent them from crossing the spell. Then, as with most spells, you can use Prior Incantado to duplicate Diffindo, allowing you to block more summons or deal more damage. When casting Diffindo, one of the best ways to both damage and block an opponent's movement is to wait for them to stand near the edge of the battlefield. Then you can cast Diffindo diagonally so the cross pattern traps your opponent in the corner. From there, you can deal damage directly to them unless, they shield, apparate away, or use Broomstick to escape. If there are multiple summons that you want to stop from moving, target the middle summon. Hopefully the spell's damage is enough to defeat them. If not, at least you can stop them from reaching you or dealing damage. Take advantage of the time that the spells buy you to clear out any summons that may have trap. If you're facing a summoner deck, you know how quickly they can overpower you. If you're facing a Bellatrix Death Eater deck, deal with the Death Eater first. They're more annoying because they continuously cast Crucio compared to the longer cooldown Crucio used by the Death Eaters summoned by the Echo. If they have flying summons, aim for them first. You won't be able to trap them, but Diffindo will still damage if it hits them directly. That way, even if they survive, they'll be easier to get rid of later. So overall, Diffindo is more than just a damage spell. It's a control tool, a summon stopper, a really satisfying way to tell ground units, hey, you're not going anywhere. It works best when you use it to trap opponents, cut off paths, and set up stronger follow-up spells. It may not always be flashy, but when timed properly, it can completely disrupt your opponent's strategy. So if you enjoy spells that reward good aim, smart positioning, and a little bit of battlefield geometry, Diffindo is definitely worth trying. And until next time, fellow mages, see you in the wizarded world.